Hey guys, this is 681 Shadow. Welcome to ReZero Arc 3 Interlude 3 Part 5. My reading and reaction to it. I said that really oddly. I don't know why, but this is going to be a bit interesting because on the website they put this on two separate pages. So you're gonna see me like going through loading the second page once I finish this first page because they apparently switched it. They separate it to part 5 and part 5.5 for whatever reason. But if you guys want to read this on your own and not wait for me to do these weekly, then the link to the website is in the description below. And if you want to see my other reactions to the ReZero web novel, then the playlist for that will also be in the description down below. Now, without further ado, we will get back into it. So last time we left off, they had the whole meeting where they're talking about trying to break the alliance, and Subaru and Wilhelm did not want to break the alliance. So they came to the utter conclusion that to break the alliance, they have to put that on hold for now because to fully break the alliance, they need Rosewall present. So now we can start reading. Thank you for back there, Wilhelm-san. After the meeting in the lounge, Subaru called out to Wilhelm outside the Karsten mansion. Stopping his steps, Wilhelm turned to Subaru. Not at all. I was of no help. I'm ashamed of how deficient I am. Above all, I was unable to assist you today. Don't say that. Without Wilhelm-san, we wouldn't have defeated the White Whale, and afterward I was able to entrust Amelia and the villagers to you. I am really, really grateful. Those were unpackaged, genuine words of gratitude. But even this could not lift the gloom from Wilhelm's face. Never forgetting a past kindness, always carrying the pain of others with himself. This man, isn't he too good-natured for his own good? Subaru smiled at the thought. Even though the situation hasn't settled yet, have you had a chance to visit your wife's grave? Even though it's no consolation, but at least you have avenged. And Wilhelm possibly got triggered. At Subaru's words, Wilhelm's face suddenly collapsed with deep emotion. Seeing these intertwined waves of grief and sentiment, Subaru didn't know what to do. Noticing Subaru's hesitation, Wilhelm bowed deeply. Subaru Dono, I must apologize. Wait, don't be like this. You have nothing to be sorry about. I should be thanking you right now. No, that is not true. The words I spoke in the meeting were not out of genuine desire to be your ally. It was my vain, selfish sentiment that made me support the alliance. For concealing my guilt, I am deeply ashamed. Not understanding Wilhelm's words, Subaru furrowed his brows. Seeing this, Wilhelm took off his overcoat and rolled up his left sleeve, revealing a bandaged wound around his left shoulder. Through the outer cloth, one could see the inner layers are wet with blood. Does it hurt? You should get fellows to look at that. This wound cannot be healed. It was dealt by an opponent who possesses the divine protection of Death God. Can't be healed, then Wilhelmson. So that's pretty crazy. Wilhelm has a wound that cannot be healed and was given to him by someone who has the divine protection of Death God, which is that's just that's pretty menacing if you really think about it. What an unhealable wound leads to, even Subaru knows this. Normally, if bleeding can't be stopped, it's like a timer to set on one's life. But unlike Subaru, who looked full of apprehension, Wilhelm shook his head calmly. My life is not in danger right now. How can that be? That wound, what kind of attack? I did not receive this wound today or yesterday. It was from a long time ago, and it recently reopened. But for me right now, the wound is too large. Listening to Wilhelm's quiet words, Subaru's small body quivered and contracted. Not knowing why he is having this reaction, even the roots of his teeth felt like they didn't fit his jaw. All this came from the sword demon in front of him, an incredible aura that could freeze one's liver solid. Continuing his calm, gentle voice, the effects of a divine protection become stronger when the owner of the divine protection is near. When Death God's owner approaches, the wounds they inflict will open. Then that means the person who inflicted your wound long ago is near. the one who wounded my left shoulder is the previous generation sword saint. Listening to Wilhelm, Subaru's breathing stopped. Gazing into Wilhelm's eyes, he saw the frozen glitters of emotion. Theresia von Austria. The wound dealt by my wife has reopened. In order to find out why, I must continue to pursue the witch cult. Okay, that's crazy. Just want to give a little analysis on that before we move on to 5.5. So he has the wound that he was given from his wife. He it's reopened, and that means that she's near, but she's dead. So the witch cult is definitely doing something, and so this is getting really good now. I'm really surprised. All right, so let's open up 5.5. Hey, nice picture. Okay. Okay, time to continue. Lost in a daze, Subaru stepped into the room where Rem was sleeping. Ever since returning to Crucius Mansion, whenever there was a chance, he would come to stay with her. Even though he knew it would not happen, somewhere in his heart, in his weakness, he hoped she could just wake up. In this state, he no longer had the courage or will to face Amelia. Being Amelia, she would understand after all. Perhaps she would understand it all. If she was by his side now, it would only bring her pain. Unless Subaru looked for her, she would give him time to himself, even though she couldn't stop worrying. If Amelia was there, he'd probably cry, if only to comfort that weakness within his heart. Though he hated that weakness, he cannot cut it from himself. Rem, even though you told me I'm strong, without you with me, I can't find it, Rem. I can't. Nothing changed from when he left for the lounge. Softly breathing, her heart was beating, but other than this, there was not a single sign of life. Right now, only Subaru's heart still carries her existence. But it's you. Which wind blew you here? Me being here, is that so strange? Even I had some kind of relationship with this girl before, right? Then occasionally coming here. What's wrong with that? Where do you get the nerve? Gently touching Rem's sleeping forehead, Subaru glanced to his side. Floating in the air was a small gray cat, waggling his long tail, looking at him. At the meeting, he was nowhere to be found, yet he showed up here. Noticing Subaru's severe glance, Puck seemed taken aback. Why are you looking at me like that? Did I do something? Right now, you didn't do anything. Go find Amelia, as long as you go float around somewhere else. Is that so? That's a curious thing to say. Even though my freedom isn't restricted. If that child gets in trouble while I'm not there. Licking his whisker, Puck murmured leisurely, then floating up to Subaru's face. But I think it's better that I talk to Subaru right now. Acting like you know everything. It's really pissing me off. Subaru turned his gaze away. Even so, Puck silently waited for him. Subaru sighed, even though meekly following along annoyed him. You didn't tell Amelia about the witch cult. What are your intentions? No intention at all. If some things you can live without knowing, then not knowing is fine too. If Leah asked me, I would have told her, but she didn't ask. People like that, if you just avoid them, it doesn't matter, right? Yes, there are times when it's fine to not know some things. This is totally not the case for Amelia, is it? That girl came out of the forest to become king. She is fighting to win the royal selection. There's no way to avoid a witch cult like that. You know this. Of course you know this. Pressing low his voice, Subaru pursued Puck's intentions, but Puck, wobbling in the air, easily dodged Subaru's vigorous questions. The witch cult appearing, I suspected it too, but whether I can convey that to Leah is a completely different matter. Even if it meant endangering her, and everyone else around her? I don't know what you're thinking, but if things went the way they were, Amelia would have... I see. You did all this to save Leah. This child, too. She sacrificed herself to help her. In that case, I really need to thank this child. And then Subaru gets triggered, and in that instant disregarding all the world, Subaru threw his punch. At the spirit in front of his eyes, without a trace of hesitation, he swung with all his might. The spirit, easily avoiding a strike, washed its face with astonishment. What are you doing, all of a sudden? Don't you dare touch Rem, not with your hands or your words. Surprised himself, his voice broke quietly. Alright, so that's the end of that that's the end of that chapter. Things like escalated really quickly with like first Wilhelm's wound from his deceased wife opening back up, and then like with Subaru being mad at Puck entirely. So that's it for this chapter. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and I will see you all next time.